AG, thanks very much for being here this morning. I want to ask you about the Trump trial in a moment because I know you were there, but we're learning this morning that more than half of the 79 anti-Israel protesters arrested at UT Austin on Monday had no affiliation with the university. What should be done about these protests, and what can you tell us in terms of who's funding it, who's behind all of this? Because clearly the agitators are not always students.
Yeah, this looks a lot like what happened a few years ago with Antifa and BLM, where they were shipping people into my state and other states. This is exactly what's happening now. I don't know who's behind it. Back then, it was Soros. So I'm glad that the governor is clamping down on this, because if you're free speech matters, but when you're committing violence, when you're threatening people, when you're blocking highways, that cannot be allowed. And fortunately, in Texas, we're not going to put up with it.
Well, free speech matters, but not for President Trump, right? He's got a gag order right now. The president was back in a Manhattan courtroom yesterday for the so-called hush money trial. Judge Juan Merchan ruling that Trump violated his gag order, fining him a total of $9,000. Merchan writes this: unfortunately, we cannot charge Trump more. But one small victory for Trump: he'll be allowed to attend his son Barron's high school graduation on May 17th. Trump responding to reporters after the proceedings yesterday. Watch this.
This gag order is not only unique, it's totally unconstitutional. I'm the Republican candidate for President of the United States, and they have me sitting here for a Biden trial. It's a Biden trial.
AG, you sat front row in court with President Trump yesterday. Tell us what you saw, your reaction.
Perversion of justice. I think your last guess was partially right. She said that there's a two-tier justice system, but it's not just that the bad guys, Joe Biden, who acknowledged, I mean, they've said he committed a crime. Hillary Clinton, Hunter Biden, they're not prosecuted. On the other hand, President Trump, who's never been a criminal in his life, suddenly is being prosecuted in 4 different states, including New York, right before an election. This sounds much more like something that would happen in Venezuela or China or Russia, not in a constitutional republic. This is tyrannical, and to stop him from speaking out and defending himself and keep him from basically campaigning, I think is hard to believe, and I hope the American people do not put up with this.
So, AJ, obviously you're a lawyer, you're the Attorney General of Texas. Where is the crime here?
I can't find it. I literally sat there all day trying to figure out what exactly is the charge, what is the crime. It is so attenuated and such a thin thread to any law. It's ludicrous. No one has ever been prosecuted for this. I doubt anybody will ever be prosecuted again. It's a sham.
Mike Lee, jump in here, because I know you're looking at the right now hearings underway at the Supreme Court about the president's potential immunity.
Yeah, Attorney General Paxton, on the off chance that the Supreme Court comes back and does not say presidents are immune from official acts, do you think your administration would pursue charges against, say, Barack Obama for the drone strikes and murdering of 3 American citizens?
Yeah, so every state's different. I don't actually have the authority. Unfortunately, in my state, I cannot prosecute unless it's referred by a district attorney. But I certainly think that if there's no immunity, that ought to be considered, that both sides ought to be treated exactly the same. And so if somehow Barack Obama should be prosecuted just like Donald Trump, they should be treated the same. And whatever the law is, it should apply equally to everybody.
Is there any other takeaway you want to share with us from the trial yesterday with President Trump?
I'll tell you what, I went there to support him because I've been through this myself, and I am disgusted by how this is going across the country, how the Justice Department, the FBI, and local law enforcement are now being used as weapons against political opponents. And I saw that, and it makes me sad. But I'll tell you what, I was very impressed with the president and his team, how upbeat they were and how willing to stay in the fight for the American people. So I commend him, and I commend his entire staff.
And of course, he was the first person to make a big deal about the wide open border. And he obviously built a wall. Texas is still constructing a border wall, putting up more razor wire to reduce the flow of illegals coming into Texas. Tell me how the state is holding up on the front lines of this border crisis.
Look, we're fighting. We have several lawsuits going that are really important about the wall, about the wire that we put up. But the reality is the story that you just talked about, that you just highlighted about people coming across the border on planes from all of these countries like Haiti and Venezuela, 30,000 a month. We have a lawsuit over this, 30,000 a month, and they're placing them in the right states like Florida, Texas, and other Republican states. And I am convinced now that these people are not just going to vote in the future. They're going to try to give them Social Security numbers now and get them to vote in the right states so that they can assure victory, just like they did last time.